Good morning. I was baking cookies because I'm fancy like that, and I got on the webinar a little bit late, and so I was a couple minutes behind, but I took notes and I gathered my thoughts, and I think it's really important that we talk about this because my main objective in this entire adventure is to make sure that people know the truth. Exposing the lies at the top. That's my ultimate goal. And so we're going to talk about a couple things today. I have more notes than I expected to have, but we will be talking about a couple different things. And then I've got so many screenshots of this stuff that proves everything that I'm saying. So right after this live, I will then make a post with all of those screenshots so you guys can see them with your own eyes. You can share them if you need to. It's very, very important that the truth is out there because the whole truth is not being told. And I got that whole truth right here. So first, I'm watching the webinar this morning. I can share the link if any of you guys want to see it later. I'll put that on that other post too, the webinar link. And one of the first things, I really only write the concerning things, and I have like 4 pages, and I was like, oh, there's more things than I thought. The first thing that really concerned me, one, they just didn't seem very excited to be there. They all just kind of seemed like, hi, we're forced to be here, so here you go. They just didn't seem like their happy-go-lucky selves they used to be. And they did talk about how, a lot of stuff has been happening this past week, which is true. And they passed it on to Deanne. And the first thing that Deanne said that made me go, what, was, don't think about the here and now. So that's weird. I don't know why you wouldn't think about the here and now. That's literally the only thing I worry about is what's happening today and then like the next week. I don't think 6 months in advance because I don't know what's going to happen next week. Why am I going to worry about what's going to happen in 6 months? The whole like wait for 90 days thing never really worked for me. I'm not a 90 days kind of person. I'm a 90 minutes kind of person. If you can't tell me what's going to happen soon, I'm going to move on. I don't have the capacity to think ahead that far. I understand in a business sense, but the way things are looking, I think maybe not thinking about the here and now is very, very bad advice for anybody who's still in this business. Thinking about the here and now should be what you're worried about because that's what's happening here and now. She also advised people to go live extra, to go and sell more things, to try harder, to do, if you're already doing 3 or 4 lives a day, then just add 1 or 2 more, just go live 5 times a day. That to me is outrageous. I don't think that's fantastic business advice, especially when the leaders of this is telling you what to do and they're telling you to sell more and to buy more. Maybe not the best advice. She also reminded us that we all have extra hours in every single day to put into our business, which I just think, you know what? I can't even tell you how many times at the end of the day I get home and I make dinner. I make dinner almost every single night. Make dinner, clean the house, get everything ready, and sit down and go, it's already 7:30? Where did the time go? So I'm not exactly sure where I can find those few extra hours to add to my day because my day is already jam-packed. Being a mom, being a wife, doing all the things that I do, my day's already jam-packed. And if you guys are already trying so hard in your business and you're already doing everything you possibly can because you're freaking out, I'm not really sure where you're going to find those extra hours. Maybe you only sleep 2 hours a day now so you can get those extra 5 hours in. I don't know. I think that's a little concerning to say. I'm not really sure where those extra hours go. I'll say a quote from one of my favorite movies, Empire Records. Daddy says there's 24 usable hours in every day. I usually say that as a joke when people go, how do you find the time to do all the things you do? I say, Daddy always said there's 24 usable hours in every day. But I don't think that really applies because that's clearly, humor. But yeah, find those extra hours, you guys. Find those extra hours and put them into your business, not your family. Don't find those extra hours and spend them with the people you love and care about. Spend them on your business. So that was another what moment for me. I even put 3 question marks and wrote what in capitals. And then they said that the whole weekend, all they got were these amazing emails from consultants and even customers, thousands of emails that they were reading all weekend about how wonderful they are. So there's thousands of people out there who are emailing Mark and Deanne every weekend to tell them how wonderful they are and to give them all this praise. I don't know who those people are. I would love to see some of those emails. That's crazy. And, you know, Mark and Deanne are excited for the future. And then she passed it on to Mark. And Mark starts talking about this lawsuit, this pesky little lawsuit, you know. And there are multiple efforts to settle. Oh, no, he said that there were multiple efforts to settle this. When you look back on the lawsuit, and I can pull up some of these screenshots, but I'll share those with you later. That's My Dire claims, yeah, we tried multiple times and they ignored us, and we tried and they ignored us, and we emailed them and they told us that it was coming and they told us this. And so there were multiple efforts to settle on My Dire's part. I don't necessarily know from what I've seen of court documents and emails and screenshots of things that LuLaRoe really made the effort back. I know that there was multiple efforts made to settle, but I'm not sure how many of those were on LuLaRoe's side and on My Dire side. From what I've seen, most of, if not all, were on My Dire side to settle this problem. And yes, the judge essentially did say this is way too convoluted and I can't figure this out and it's way too much stuff, and I'm going to ask that you guys try to come to something civilly. And the court case was not dismissed. It was not thrown out of court. LuLaRoe did not win. It is still ongoing. So don't believe any of that. That's not true. None of that is true. He wanted to reassure you that corporations have lawsuits all the time. Oh yeah, no, they do. I want to tell you, you know, there's been lawsuits with Chick-fil-A and Target. There's been lawsuits with tons and tons and tons of companies. So many companies, you guys. So many. That is part of business. But I do not believe that most of those lawsuits include like owing tens upon tens upon tens upon tens of millions of dollars in unpaid purchases. That's not what Chick-fil-A's been, you know, sued for. They're not suing Purdue Chicken Farms to say, well, they didn't provide us chicken. Purdue is not suing Chick-fil-A saying, well, we gave them $48 million worth of chicken and they have not paid us for the chicken, but they've made the chicken and sold the chicken. Those are not what the Chick-fil-A lawsuits are about. Those are not what the Target lawsuits are about. Those are not what the whoever else that they like to claim, well, Walmart's been sued. Yeah, you're right. But it's not because they're selling items that they haven't paid for and making a profit to buy more from other distributors to make another profit. That's not what those lawsuits are about. But that's what this lawsuit is about. So remember that. Remember that when they tell you that other companies have lawsuits. It's not the same, okay? It's absolutely not the same. And I was listening to The Dream the other day. I was re-listening to it, and they made a really great point. It's like, just because you're a murderer and you haven't been caught doesn't mean that you're not a murderer. It's like, you can't say, well, we're innocent. The suit was thrown out, because you're not. The suit wasn't thrown out. Then he goes on to talk about the CMS lawsuit, where he claims that they settled it and everything was fine and that they weren't guilty and everything was settled. Just because you settle a lawsuit doesn't mean you're not guilty, okay? It just means that you're going to pay this money to make it go away. It doesn't mean that you're not guilty, and it doesn't mean that you're not innocent. But CMS, that's not how that went down. And if you have questions about CMS and all of Mark's testimony, the entire lawsuit is available for you to look at in Defective. Every single word highlighted. There's thousands of comments. If you have any questions, join Defective, search CMS, find the lawsuit, read it yourself, educate yourself, know what's going on. They did settle that, but that was not a win for LuLaRoe. LuLaRoe was very shady on that, and that's, again, another shady thing. Okay, then they talked about the tax lawsuit, and this was my favorite because he said that the tax lawsuit was dismissed. Let me tell you what happened with the tax lawsuit. So LuLaRoe improperly collected sales tax from 50 states or however many states. I don't know how many states do or do not collect sales tax. I know there are a few, so I don't know. I know it's not 50 states, it's like 46 or something like that. I'm not a numbers person, like please don't go, it's actually 47, but whatever. So when we were selling with Bless, Audrey, this whole thing with the CMS lawsuit, there used to be a check mark when we would make our invoices, and that check mark was a sales box, like a sales tax check mark. So you could check that box to give sales tax. Back before we started charging everyone tax, we were only supposed to charge people that lived in the same state as us. So anybody buying from me that lived in California, I had to click the little check box and they would be charged sales tax. Well, they started to realize that they weren't collecting enough sales tax and it was probably going to come out of their pockets. And so they started forcing us to charge everyone sales tax by removing the box. Either the box was removed or it was like permanently checked and grayed and you couldn't do anything. So a lot of people I would get these messages all the time. This is illegal. You can't charge me tax. I live in Vermont. You can't charge me tax. I live in Oregon. Wherever these people live that they didn't have sales tax. So then I would do what I thought was the right thing and I would give them a discount and say, okay, well, you have $5 in sales tax. I'll give you a $5 discount to offset the cost. And then I would lose $10 because I would still have to take that $5 for sales tax and it would go to LuLaRoe and I would never see it. And then the other $10 or $5 that I gave them, which obviously I would also never see again. So I was taking the hit on those sales tax. And then those people got, maybe got checks for the sales tax and made their money back. However, so that's what happened. We had no control over the sales tax. We could not uncheck that box. That box was grayed and we were not allowed to uncheck it. We had no way of unchecking it. So I would get all these messages from people going, you can't charge, I just dropped my notes. You can't charge me sales tax. I live in Oregon. And I'd have to explain this tax nexus thing that was all a lie and all this ridiculousness. And it was all a big horrible scam. Hey, Shannon. The tax lawsuit was not dismissed. The judge that was presiding over the tax lawsuit realized that dealing with 47 or however many the number is, different tax laws for the different states was going to be far too difficult for him to handle. So instead of dismissing the lawsuit, he closed the lawsuit and opened it up so that each individual state could go after LuLaRoe individually. So basically, instead of having one tax lawsuit, they now have the possibility of having 50, 47, 48, whatever the number is. I don't think that's a win. And I believe 3 or 4 states have already filed. So they got rid of one lawsuit to open it up for multiple others. I want to say it's like Montana, Alaska, maybe Oregon or Washington. I'm not sure. It might be Washington. There's a lot of information in here and there's not enough room for all the information. So sometimes I say the wrong thing, but all of this information, if you really want everything, it's indefective. So the tax lawsuit wasn't dismissed. That's misleading. It was just closed and then reopened for everyone. So don't believe them when they say it was dismissed because that's technically not true. So, yeah, I love how he always says like allegations were made. And then we have the screenshots to prove the allegations. That was like one of my favorite things that I've been seeing recently with all these declarations. So the declarations come in from My Dyer, and it's all the people on the My Dyer side, former retailers and employees of My Dyer, and they're saying this is what happened. Here is the proof. And then LuLaRoe is going, objection, that's not true because that guy shouldn't know that information. And then the lawyer comes back and goes, he's the president of My Dyer, so 100% he should know that information, and where's your proof? And so literally they're just going back and forth and going, that's not true because of this. And it's ridiculous. It's so fun to read. You guys should read them because it's literally like ridiculous. It's just crazy. Okay. He also said the truth will be known, and I am 100% confident that the truth will be known. So buckle up. All right. Another thing that he said that I want to bring up, and we're gonna go into this too, is he said that they try the hardest to make sure that the most of our retailers have a great opportunity for success. That's a direct quote from Mark. I had to rewind it and write it down because I was like, oh, get this down. Most of our retailers have a great opportunity for success. Now, I don't know what the definition of most is in terms of talking about a number of people, but I would think that most of the alleged 30,000 consultants that are remaining are not being treated fairly and are not giving the opportunity of having great success, because LuLaRoe is implementing all these kind of crazy things on the backside to hinder that for people. So I don't know if you heard about this. I think it came out in the summer. It was called the beta testing group. And then there was this, all these memes came out of Defective, like, oh, are you a beta tester? And if you've ever seen any of the comments, they get deleted really fast. But if you've ever seen the comments, there's a lot of comments about beta testing. Oh, this must be a beta tester box and all of this stuff. Again, I have all the screenshots for that, and I will be showing them in the post as soon as I stop going live. I will post them. Essentially, this beta testing group was put together by a mentor who is local to me, actually. You want to come over and go live with me, Mr. Curtis Wilson, and explain what I'm not understanding? I would 100% love that. Or I can come to you. He's local here to San Diego. A scourge on the town, but he has a group that was a beta testing group. And essentially, he would personally curate boxes and send them to these people in the beta testing group. And there's this whole bait and switch thing. I don't know if you guys are members of Paul Ivanovsky and Tiffany Ivanovsky's sale group, but Paul went live last night and he touched on the beta testing group a little bit, and I saw that video and I messaged him and I was like, oh, I have information too. I am also going to share because I think people need to know about this beta testing group. So I do not believe Mark when he says that all of his retailers are treated fairly, and I do not believe him when he says that most of his retailers have a great opportunities for success. I don't believe it. Mark also says, I'll touch base on this because I have a list after I talk about the webinar, and we'll go in a little deeper. But Mark said that businesses have obstacles, and that obstacles are the way. That obstacles are the way that business succeeds, essentially. It's very strange and hard when you listen to it and you're like, what are you saying? The quote that I wrote down, because I'm just kind of quick writing, but the quote that I wrote down is, the harder it is, the better your outcome. So I'm not really sure what that means. He's talking about obstacles in your business, and like the more obstacles you have to overcome, the better your business will be, which is confusing because I don't think that obstacles equal like success. I think that obstacles create stronger people. If you can get through these obstacles, I've been going through one for 16 months and I feel like I'm a much stronger person. But he talks about the harder it is, the better your outcome. And that if things appear to be hard, this is the best part. If things appear to be hard, then it's the universe asking you to step up. Just pause for the cause for a second. If things are difficult for you, it's your fault because that's the universe telling you that you need to step it up. You guys, these wrinkles on my face have gotten a lot deeper in the last 16 months because I'm always going like this. Everything, I'm just like, what? If things appear to be hard, it is the universe asking you to step up. No, it's not. Maybe if things appear to be hard, it's because things are ridiculously hard because you're covering up all this bullshit that no one else can see. And when anybody goes, hey, I heard, is this true? They get blocked or banned or removed or told that they're being negative if they have a question. I'm sorry. It is not, if I'm having a rough time, it's not the universe going, I thought I would fuck with you today. No, it's not. If I'm having a hard time, it has nothing to do with what the universe is putting out there. I'm sorry. It's just not. That's just not how life works. And then he goes into this gardening analogy, which is amazing because, again, gardeners or farmers, whoever you want to talk about, he's talking about you have to put the work in. You have to go out and plow the fields. Plow the fields, you guys. Rototiller up that dirt, aerate that dirt, plant those seeds, water those seeds, watch it grow, watch everything grow and flourish from your hard work of removing the rocks and rototillering the dirt. And you put those seeds in the ground and that corn grows and you get that corn and then everybody gets to have corn for dinner. That's a bullshit analogy because you are not a farmer. And you don't need to remove the rocks and rototiller the ground if you're selling leggings. LuLaRoe is your distributor in terms of, that's how they always were. We're just the distributor, you guys. We don't have any control. We're just the distributor. If you're just the distributor, why are you telling me it's my fault if I'm not successful? I don't think my distributor, if I was selling clothes, would say that. I don't think if I want to go make a t-shirt on my Cricut for Christmas that says, you know, bah humbug, or this is my Christmas shirt or whatever, I don't think if I go to Hobby Lobby and they're out of the size of the shirt I need for the day, that Hobby Lobby is going to be like, it's just the universe telling you you need to step up and work harder. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works. Then they started talking about people like me. And I love it because every time we go live or every time we share something or anytime we share the truth, there's always this whole like, there are people out there trying to hurt your business, trying to expose us for things we haven't done and spreading lies. And they're tearing us down. They say we're always tearing them down. That me, one person, is tearing everybody down. Or hey, Cambry, or the people in Defective, us admins in Defective who are working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring to you vetted, accurate information so that you have the best educated decision to make for your business. They're telling us that we're tearing them down by spreading the truth. And I want to let everybody at LuLaRoe know right now that exposing your lies doesn't mean we're tearing you down. Exposing the fact that this is a scam and has always been a scam and is systemically built to sustain the scam is not me tearing you down. It's me exposing your lies to the people that need to hear it, okay? That's what that is. That's not me tearing you down. That's me helping those that you've torn down back up. Because I've been there. I've been that consultant crying on the floor, feeling torn down because I was told that I needed to be somewhere or I needed to get somewhere, and getting these webinar calls. And I think if you're watching this right now and you listen to what I say and you go, oh my God, I've heard that, you'll know what I'm saying. You say like, I can't go to this other training. Like I can't buy a plane ticket and fly. I can't do this. I have a family to take care of. It's my kids' recital. It's whatever. You're told, you know, you're doing this. Tell your children you're doing this to help the other mommies. Your children will understand because you're doing this. You're taking time away from your family to help other mommies so that other mommies don't have to do this. And me crying on the floor going, I don't know, we don't have the money to do this, we have bills to pay, and me getting on a webinar to hear about how bad I need to be there, and me being told, you need to get there, I know how much you make because I sign your checks, and I know you can afford it, and you better be there, and if you're not there, there's gonna be hell to pay. I know how much you make because I sign your checks. That's like, I'm not making that up. You want to talk to anybody else? I'm sure they can corroborate my story and my claims. I'm not making that up. I'm just not. I don't have time to make shit up. I just don't. Also, they had a retailer on there. And I'm not gonna tear her down because she's an innocent victim in all of this. She doesn't know she's in a cult. She doesn't know she's perpetuating a scam. She's blind the way I was blind, the way all of us were blind, the way Courtney was blind, the way Amy Lee was blind, the way that Paul was blind. All of us were blind, all of it. We didn't know. We didn't, because we're only told what we need to know, and we're not told the whole thing, even as leaders and top 100 sellers and whoever you want to be. Like, we don't get the whole story either. So this girl goes on and they're sharing her live training video or whatever, and they're talking about all this stuff, and she says, she's like, just write down 25 things to do. Just write down 25, income producing activities so that you can have this Christmas advent calendar of work you can do for your business. And some of those days you're going to have to double up because there's not enough days in the month left to have 25 days. So you're going to have to double up on some of those days, and it's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful. And here's some really great ideas. And some of the ideas that were shared were a white elephant live. Like, I don't even know what that is. What's a white elephant live? Is there where you give all the shitty prints to people and go, ha ha ha, white elephant sucker? Is that what that is? Because that'll make you some money, and then everybody's going to be upset that they got crappy prints again. Or a hot cocoa social, and then Kenny pops on and goes, a hot cocoa social is a great idea. You can all go over and share hot cocoa recipes. Here's how you make hot cocoa. Take milk, melt chocolate, put in mug, enjoy. That's how you make hot cocoa. I can give you a hot cocoa recipe. Milk, chocolate, vanilla, a little bit of sugar. It's you guys, it's literally melted chocolate and milk. Like, that's what hot cocoa is. So you want to make it fresh, hit me up. I got a recipe. 4 things: milk, chocolate, vanilla, sugar. The end. There you go. You don't have to go to any hot cocoa social now to get a recipe for hot cocoa, so you're welcome. No one wants to spend their Christmas going to your house to be sold items. That's not what they want. That's just not what people want, okay? You want to talk to anybody who's like, enough. I don't need to support your small business. It's not a small business. It's just putting money into this fat cats at the top so that they can, run away to the Bahamas and fuck everybody. So that's that. Okay, so that's the end. Oh, and then the last bit of advice for how to do your business and how to make it so successful this holiday season. And I quote, do all the things. Oh, I'm sorry, not even all. Just do the things. Do the things, you guys. Do the things. That's the advice they're giving you on how to sell at Christmas. Do the things. Geez, thanks so much. Thanks so much for that fantastic advice. I can't wait to do the things and have the money roll in. Okay, so now I'm back to my actual list of things I wanted to talk about, but I was like, oh wait, there's a webinar today. Let me watch it and let me give my thoughts. Here we go. Let's get to the actual reason I'm here today. So Curtis Wilson's beta testing group. Paul briefly talked about it last night on his live at the very end. I think it was like an hour or so on into his sale that he talked about it. And I sent him a message and I was like, nice live. So basically what it is, he didn't explain it like as in depth, but I will, because I'm not selling anything and I'm not in a lawsuit and whatever. So here's the thing. Curtis Wilson is a mentor. He lives here in San Diego with his wife, Ashley, and they are mentors, and I think they're top sellers. They're like the Disney. They sell the most Disney in the whole entire world, and they're just amazing, and everybody just wants to sniff their butts and love the smell of their farts, so it's great. And so basically, Curtis Wilson runs this group of beta testers, and it's top sellers, top leaders, all the people that get all the things. When you go and you watch lives and you go, geez, my local consultant only has triangles and brown Doritos, but this guy over here has 47 Minnie and Mickey and 47 candy canes and all the things I'm looking for. They have hundreds of them. And so that's so amazing. So here's the thing. What happened was, and this was back in August, we got screenshots from someone who was fed up. And hey, you know what? You're in and you're fed up and you got screenshots, send them. Send them. We will expose everybody for their lies. And I will not be posting these screenshots redacted, because those people in that group need to be exposed for the lies that they're spreading to their downlines and encouraging you to buy things. You need to know what's going on. So this beta testing group is essentially a hand-picked, warehouse curated, you can have whatever you want, direct line. Hey, I want leopard. Hey, I want the best of the best. Hey, I want whatever the unicorn of the day is, and I want 150 of them because I need it, because everyone's going to buy it. And they go, sure, no problem. And then they send you a box of all the things you asked for, which is not how LuLaRoe is set up. It was the mystery print from the beginning. It's not like, it's the exact opposite of what they preach of mystery prints, so that Because when I said, what's the point with mystery prints? I was told by home office, well, mystery prints are really fantastic because if you just bought the prints you liked, then you would only have, customers that like what you like. And if you have all these different prints, then you're going to get all different kinds of customers that you would have never met before. And you're going to be able to serve them and bless their lives with these Doritos because people love Doritos. If it was up to me, my boutique would have been floral, stripes, and solids because that's what I wear. Solid, and maybe plaid. I like plaid too. But everything I wear, if you guys watch, it's floral, stripes, and solids. That's what it is. That's what I wear. That's what I like. That's how it's always been. You can go back years and years and years and you will see it's always floral, stripes, and solid. And I was like, that's what I would carry. And they said, but what about all those people that like geometric and Aztec and novelty? And I was like, And they're like, that's why it's like that. So that's how I was told. That's the reason for the curation with LuLaRoe. So if that's the reason and that's the way that all of this is so successful, then what's the point of the beta testing group? What's the point, right? So basically what would happen is he would take pictures. He would go to warehouse because he's right here in San Diego. We're an hour and a half away. It's just north. He would go and he would take pictures of the best stuff. They were literally curating the A and B prints out for the beta testing group and leaving the C, D, and Q prints for everyone else. Maybe throwing an A and a B over there just for funsies. He would take pictures of all the prints and then he would put it in the group and say, here's the screenshot that you can share with your downlines to let them know what's on the prints so that they order. So that they order stuff from you and let's order from LuLaRoe. He's showing pictures of leopard print and whatever the unicorn du jours are so that everybody wants to buy, right? And then they send those pictures out to the team groups. And the team groups go, oh my gosh, is that what's coming off the line right now? And the mentors that are sharing the picture are like, yes, this is what my friend just got. He just got this box full of unicorns. It's amazing. You should order right now. And then there's screenshots of people going, hey, I ordered and my Irmas are great, but my leggings are nothing like the leggings in the photo. That's called bait and switch, you guys. That's massively illegal. Massively illegal. To give people benefits and perks of getting the best stuff with the sole intention of taking photos and falsely sharing it to disseminate the information that this is what's actually being sold and what's actually on the line so that people will buy that stuff. But that's not actually what it is because they're pulling from the A pile and what they're getting is from the C and D pile. That's what's happening. Okay? I have screenshots of all of it, of all the proof, and it will be going up right after I post this so you can see, all right? So that's the beta testing and that's the bait and switch that Paul was talking about. That's 100% actually happening. And he mentioned last night on his live that he just talked to somebody who is still getting beta testing boxes. So once this scandal came out in August, LuLaRoe squashed it and said that wasn't happening, and if it was stopped. It hasn't stopped. It's still happening, and you guys need to know that, okay? There is no level playing field. There never was. Systemically scamming from the beginning, okay? Next point, court documents. All of those court documents, my favorite one, and I wrote this on here too, my absolute favorite one. I can't remember who it was. I'll have to share the screenshots because there's so many names. But someone basically, when they did their declaration, they cited all of the Business Insider articles as proof of their claims. Like, this is what I heard and here's the proof. This is the article I saw, here's the article. Business Insider, okay? Business Insider, let me let you know right now, is not fake news. It is not the National Enquirer of the business world. It is not a tabloid journal for businesses. It's not. It's just not. It's a bipartisan, sort of kind of like right in the middle right there. Doesn't sway one way or the other. It is a fact-based journalism that, a journalism publication that shares 100% like what's actually the truth and what's actually happening. I've talked to the reporter multiple times about multiple things, shared screenshots with her, shared personal information, got her in touch with other people that had similar stories or different stories to corroborate all the stories. 100% this person, like legit, right? Her name's Haley. She's amazing. So one of the court documents was basically saying, hey, I don't think that this is true. Their objection, LuLaRoe's objection to that filing was basically, you're citing this news source, and you can't prove that that source is genuine. So he's essentially saying the reason I'm objecting to your declaration is fake news. Okay? So we're on the same page, right? LuLaRoe is disseminating information that Business Insider is not a credible news source, which is incorrect. But here's the funniest thing. Back in 2016, it was like September or November, it was the end of 2016, Business Insider wrote a piece on LuLaRoe, and it was positive. And we shared it everywhere. It was about this leggings empire is empowering women, and women are making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, and it's amazing, and it's this sisterhood, and it's this amazing thing, and oh my gosh, it's so wonderful. And it was written by the same person. Haley wrote that one. That was 100% true and amazing, and share it to everybody, and have you seen this, and here's an email where we share it, and everybody knows, and Business Insider loves us, and oh my gosh, all the things. Well, then LuLaRoe tanked, and we found out, and we found all this, uncovered all this proof, and reached out to the same reporter. Actually, I think she reached out to us and said, hey, I was the one that wrote that pro LuLaRoe piece 2 years ago. Now I see they're in hot water. I'd like to write about what's going on now. Who should I talk to? And again, disseminating information and saying, oh, this person, here's the proof, here's the proof. She's written 2 so far. Both LuLaRoe has said are fake news. So I'm not really sure how one article isn't fake news, but the other ones are. Same publication, same journalist, author, but one is fake, or one is real, and the other 2 are fake. Think about that, okay? Business Insider is not fake news, you guys. That's like saying the New York Times is fake news or the Wall Street Journal is fake news. By the way, Wall Street Journal has also written about the scamminess of LuLaRoe, so, you know, think about that. You know, maybe if like some crazy left-wing or right-wing, like crazy news blog somewhere wrote about it, I might go, I don't know, that's fake news and they got a lot of information wrong. But Business Insider, no. The other thing is I got, well, there's all the Blessed Card drama. We talked about that last week. The Blessed Card drama is still going. I've seen screenshots of people where they can't pull their funds out, insufficient funds from EML. Just more proof that EML is not, it's just more proof that EML holds those funds and LuLaRoe doesn't, like they're claiming. But LuLaRoe controls those funds because they control them through EML. It's a web of just craziness. Just trust me that LuLaRoe does control the funds. They control how much you can pull out. They control how much you can spend in a day. They control how much you can take out and how much you can pull from an ATM. They control all of that. And they can shut it off whenever they want. They can, whenever they want. Mark funds the pool that the money comes out of. It's Mark's account. It's just, you guys, just be smart. I can't believe I have to beg people to keep their money safe. Like, don't, okay? Then Deanne has been posting all of these. She posted something on Instagram. She hadn't posted in forever. I don't know how long it was, but she finally posted on Instagram, and she was basically asking all of her cult followers to protect her from trolls and to let her know who the trolls are and to block those trolls so they can keep the negativity out. Again, truth is not negativity. Okay, again, I'll say that one more time for the people in the back who still have their heads in the sand. Truth does not equal negativity. Okay? It just doesn't. Sometimes there's a phrase that says the truth hurts. That applies here. Again, if this case goes to trial, and I really hope it does, I will be driving out to Riverside, and I will be there if I can be. I really want to be there. I just really do. I just really want to be there. Apparently, they are still onboarding people. I got a screenshot a couple days ago that they had like onboarded 15 people in the month of November, which seems concerning, right? Like, oh my God, 15 people don't know how to use Google? That's crazy. I still see comments constantly on posts, and I get so many screenshots. So it's like, I see screenshots of people going, gee, I wish I could onboard with LuLaRoe. I just don't have the money. Or when people are offering free onboards, people going, it would be the answer to all my prayers if I could just onboard with LuLaRoe. Again, 15 people onboarded in November. 15. For comparison, at the height of LuLaRoe, they were onboarding 500 people a day. A day. Now they're not even onboarding a half a person a day. So they went from 500 people a day to half a person a day. You guys, if that's not proof, I don't know. If you go on Google and you like do Google Trends and you look at the Google trend of LuLaRoe, it goes like this. Up, peaks, and then it starts to decline. And then it kind of peaks and declines and peaks and declines and peaks and declines, but they're all declines. It never went above that peak. It never did. It's been on a steady decline, and then there'll be a big decline or a big peak when some scandal happens. There'll be a big peak for like the NDSS scandal, and then there's like a massive down, and then it goes up again for some other scandal, and then it goes down again. So it's pretty crazy. No one's really looking up LuLaRoe, very obviously, because people are still onboarding, that no one is looking up LuLaRoe. But that's very, 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 very concerning, that there's 15 people a month onboarding when there used to be 500 people a day. That's something you should probably look into. If you know people that are trying to onboard, unfortunately, I think at this point, if they have their heart set on it, they're going to do it. I joined, I onboarded in March of 2016, but I was already a member of that cult by October of 2015. The first time I saw it, and I was on those calls and I was on those recorded opportunity calls. Actually, the opportunity calls back then, Deanne still was on the phone live talking. That was when I joined the cult and was like, I need to be a part of this. So if you're meeting people that are like, I'm thinking of joining LuLaRoe, chances are they're already deep in the cult. They've already been talking to a sponsor. They've already been talking to whoever. They've already filled their head with lies. They've already inflated the numbers and shown them things that aren't true. You know, the FTC is cracking down on this stuff. LuLaRoe is walking a tightrope with the FTC, and it's not good. It's absolutely not good. You know, I can't say one side or the other that LuLaRoe, that this will take LuLaRoe down. They seem to be like a cat with 9 lives, or a hydra, because every single time we cut off one of their heads, 2 more pop back up. So I can't say with any certainty that I know that they're going down or any of this. All that I can do is give you guys the truth, so that you know what's actually happening and you can make those decisions for yourself and make the smart decisions. The lawsuits that are going on right now, I'm going to post, I try to post those when I get them. I try to put those up when I can. My weekends around here are super busy. I try to get off of social media and spend time with my family. But when I get that information, I try to share it. If I haven't shared it, it's been shared on LuLaRoe Fail. And if it's not on LuLaRoe Fail, then you'll definitely find it in Defective. Head on over to Defective, LuLaRoe Defective. If you can't find it in search, you're probably already blocked. But if you can find it in search, you should join if you're curious about what's going on, because all of the screenshots and all of the information that I share here publicly is all shared there in a group. When I joined that group, there were 20,000 people in it. We now have 65,000 people, which is 35,000 more than current LuLaRoe retailers. That should tell you something too. Trends don't lie. You know, that's just, it just doesn't lie. We have more people that are in that group watching LuLaRoe fall than are in LuLaRoe defending it and trying to keep it afloat. It's Christmas time. I know you are trying to get that money, spend it with your family, spend it on gifts. And if you go to your blessed card and you think that you're going to be able to pull that stuff out and you get an error message, I would be heartbroken for you. I'm going to end this live in just a second, but my husband called me just right before I went live, and I told him what I was going to do, and he was like, okay, all right. he's like, you know what? He's like, you are the bear. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And he goes, you are the bear. He and I, we play Red Dead Redemption 2. It's like my absolute funsy time. I love it. It's a super fun game. There's a couple people in Defective that we have all these little inside jokes, and I'll say things. And anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2 is an amazing game. We play it all the time. That's how my husband and I like unwind at the end of the night. Shooting O'Driscolls and robbing stagecoaches. Anyway, there's this, in the city of Valentine in the game, there is a show you can go see, and there's a story in the show about the bear. And essentially what happens is Old Man Winter comes to this bear and says, winter is coming. It's going to be cold. It's going to be harsh. It's going to be bad. I'm asking you, Bear, because you're friends with everyone. I'm asking you, Mr. Bear, to go around and tell all your friends that winter is coming and they need to store some food and they need to get to safe places to stay warm to survive the winter, okay? And the bear goes, okay, Mr. Winter, I'm going to do it. And the bear goes all around and he tells Mr. Coyote, his friend, you better watch out. Winter's coming. And Mr. Coyote goes, oh, I've got fur. I'll be fine. I'm not cold. And he tells Mr. Turtle, well, Mr. Turtle, those winds are going to come through and it's going to be cold. And Mr. Turtle goes, well, when the winds come through, I'll just pop in my shell and I'll be fine. I'll just hide in my shell and I'll totally be fine for winter. And he tells the rabbits and he tells everybody and he says, hey, you guys, winter's coming. And then Mr. Bear goes to his den and he climbs in his den and he snuggles up for winter. And, the little thing goes, you can find it on YouTube. I'll even share the link because it's a pretty cute story. At the end of winter, the thaw starts and Mr. Bear wakes up and he's like, oh, I'm so tired. I slept this whole time and oh, hooray, it's spring. I can't wait to see all my friends. And he goes out of his den and the snow starts to thaw and it starts to melt. And underneath the snow are the carcasses and the bodies of his friends. Because Mr. Coyote thought he could do it and thought Mr. Bear was, oh, Mr. Bear's just saying whatever Mr. Bear wants to say. I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. And Mr. Coyote's lying there just bones. And Mr. Turtle just a shell because, hey, Mr. Turtle, he tried. He tried to warn Mr. Turtle. So my husband goes, you are the bear. I said, well, Defective is the bear. And he goes, well, whatever. You guys are the bear. You are the bear. You are out there. You're putting yourself out there for no other reason than to disseminate the information and to help others. And I would really, really hate to come out of my den at the end of winter and to just see all of my friends go, my money was taken, or I lost everything, or whatever is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell the future. I can't read minds. I don't know what's happening. But I like to live by the rule of better safe than sorry because I have been screwed by this company. So I want to let you know that winter is coming. And if you don't protect yourself, I can't protect you either. And so, again, I plead with you to be smart, to educate yourself. If you have questions, ask. You're not going to get them from LuLaRoe. If you want the truth, come find me. If you need proof of something or screenshots of something, I'm sure I can find them for you. Be smart. Educate yourself. Prepare for winter. Get your food ready. Get your den ready. And warn your friends. Because I would not be able to live with myself if something horrible happened to the people I care about and I knew information and kept it to myself. So, again, I'm going to go be the bear, share the information, make sure your friends, the coyote and the turtle, don't get stuck out in the snow and aren't left for dead. And have a wonderful day. And I am going to go run some errands. All right? Hopefully we'll do this again next week. We'll see. I don't know my schedule yet, but hopefully we'll do this again next week. I like doing this. I like talking to you guys. I like getting back on these lives and sharing this information. I think it's very, very important. I'll tell you something. It seems Every Style has been out of stock for forever. Let me tell you that they have $46 million worth of inventory sitting in those warehouses that for some reason they don't want to sell to you because they want to liquidate it to China. So we gotta figure that out. There's money out there. I've seen screenshots all over the place about this, that they have this inventory and they don't want to sell it. They just want to destroy it or liquidate it. There's LuLaRoe leggings in Australia for $2. $2 Australian, which I think is like $1.25, $1.50 American. I mean, It's not my dyer selling it. I know that. I've talked to the sources. It's not my dyer selling this, okay? It's someone else selling it. And if it's not my dyer, maybe you can connect the dots and figure out who's selling it. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys soon, all right? Bye.